Hey everyone, welcome back to Pretending with Dice. As always, I'm your host and game master, AJ. Just a couple of things I wanted to talk about before we recap what happened last time and get into today's new episode. Firstly, it's been a couple of episodes since I talked about our Discord server, the link to which you can all find in our Twitter bio and on our Podbean homepage. We're really just trying to create a fun place to hang out for everyone, share some jokes, share your own projects and things, music recommendations and whatnot, as well as, just a place to hang out and chat and make jokes about the podcast itself. Over the summer, we were also running a kind of weekly Jackbox Games event on there, and we're planning on starting something along those lines up again real soon, as well as a few other kind of server-wide events and stuff. So come and join us on Discord and hang out and do some stuff with us. Secondly, on the urging of a couple of you, we now have our own Ko-Fi page, or Ko-Fi. I'm not entirely sure how it's meant to be pronounced. But for those of you who don't know, Ko-Fi, that's what I'm going to call it that. Ko-Fi is a site where you can tip creators whose work you've enjoyed. Of course, these donations aren't really in any way expected or mandatory or anything. The podcast is always going to be free to listen to everywhere that it is now. But if any of you have, kind of really enjoyed what we've been doing for the past sort of 3.5 years or so and feel the inclination to throw us a couple of pounds or whatever, this is the place to do it. You can find our page at ko-fi.com/pretendingwithdice. Alrighty, let's recap what happened previously to bring us to this point. After meeting each other under some strange circumstances during the Harvest End Festival being held in the village of Alfred Mill, our three adventurers, that's Erebus, Faen and Celeste, found themselves drawn into a rescue mission of sorts. A farmer named Oscar, whom Celeste had been staying with, had been dragged away into the dark caverns below the nearby mine of Alehand's Folly, along with the dwarves who worked the mine, by some strange crystalline spiders which had appeared in the mine's lower galleries. Travelling to the mine, our trio found its upper levels deserted, as expected, and crept their way deeper in, looking for signs of life. Descending to the mining gallery on which the trouble had originated, they soon found themselves facing a quartet of these crystalline spider creatures. A fierce battle occurred with the trio prevailing, but feeling a little spent, they stopped to catch their breath before continuing deeper. That's pretty much where we left off last time, so without any further ado, let's get into today's episode. Enjoy. Okay, so following your frantic battle with the crystalline metal spider entities, the three of you are currently catching your breath, surrounded by the shattered and unmoving remains of the four creatures.
Can we say that Faen is lying like starfished on the ground as he took the most damage?
Just fully you did take a few hits.
Yeah, he was below half health by the end of it.
Okay.
So he's literally just bashed himself up and just laying splayed out on the ground.
I will keep that in mind. But yes, okay, so you're all catching your breath. Faen, are you face down or face up?
I think face up, staring into the void of darkness above him.
Not just on the ground like planking.
Pretty much, yeah. That's how I think about it.
We'll call this a short rest then. Feel free to spend any hit dice, regain HP and whatnot. How are you all looking on that side of things, by the way?
I think so.
That's full health.
I think we're there.
So.
Yeah.
Because I remember being I have 5 hit points. Oh, I took 5 points of damage and then 4 back. I've got 1 hit point down, basically.
Alright, so you guys are okay. Where are you at, Faen?
I'm back up to 34, and I was on 38, so I'm only 4 points down.
Oh, that's not too bad then. Okay, I won't cut out any enemies then.
I have 1 second level spell slot. Don't do this to me.
Okay.
I still have many spell slots.
I will keep that in mind as well.
I'm like, how badly can this go?
So after a little bit of time spent kind of catching your breath and kind of getting acclimatized to the dark and that, what would any of you like to do?
What's around us?
So you're still in this sort of mining gallery. It's kind of like a long, basically rectangle cut out of the sort of rock of the mountain. There's a few of these sort of rocky outcroppings kind of spaced around the floor that obviously the dwarves have kind of worked around and not really, whether it was like harder rock and they just wanted to take out the other, you got nowhere knowing. Further towards the end of the sort of the opposite end from where you came in, it sort of just disappears off into darkness. Do you have dark vision at all or anything? I know Faen does, but...
Yeah, mine's 60 feet.
60 feet, okay. Yeah, you can't... It goes outside of your dark vision range.
I think arachnophobia don't have dark vision.
That's
from
what I was thinking.
remember.
I don't think I do.
Because they can fly.
I choose to believe I just put off glitter everywhere I go.
There is no source of light in here anymore, though, since you took out the crystalline spiders. They were the ones giving off the kind of blue light in here.
Kind of noticing Erebus having a bit of trouble kind of looking around. Can I grab one of like the shards of crystal that kind of remains? If there is any.
There's sort of crystal shards and that. They're not giving off any light anymore.
Yeah. I'm going to cast a light on it.
Okay.
And then just kind of like put it in the centre of us as we're kind of like sitting around. Similarly in this position that we're in now. Probably.
Sort of just in a little kind of triangle group.
Yeah. And just kind of put it in the middle so we've got a bit of a light source.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit. It's not tiny. I mean, they were about 4 or 5 feet long in body, so you've got like kind of a big chunk of one of these crystal spiders.
Picturing of the leg.
It's
like a frog leg, just like.
Yeah.
I beat you with a bat.
I guess that's my blood on it.
Yeah. But yeah,
it makes the wet sound.
So yeah, you can see now. But yeah, it's kind of the darkness kind of extends away from you guys up the gallery. I keep calling it gallery. I think that's the right term. Like a mined out.
I think that is what it's called. Yeah.
Probably should have done research before
it's fine.
Started just talking
about
stuff.
Dwarves call it a gallery.
Yeah, these dwarves call it a gallery. In fact, there's a big sign on the wall now that you've lit it up that just says it says gallery number 2.
It's got multiple dots just over the letters.
They don't appear to correspond to any kind of actual like
just there.
Indecipherable dwarvish that we can't read.
That's true. It's in Dwarven runes. You guys can't read it.
I was going to say, so as far as we're concerned,
there is a sign on the wall.
It definitely says gallery.
You don't know what it says, although one of them does look like a 2.
Well, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Looking around, was this one of the areas that had like signs of like battle with like where there were weapons scattered around but no bodies?
Looking around, make a perception check for me. There definitely was earlier on the sort of main area.
That's such a sound.
That's so loud.
I kind of deliberately
look at the readings as well.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like someone shot me.
27.
27. Okay.
Natural 19.
Yeah. Now you look around, you can see there's a couple of pickaxes and stuff here and there, and you can see a couple of drop shields as well. Again, no sign of any dwarves or anything. I would say with the 27, I mean the ground has got some gravel on it. It does look like there's some bits where it's disturbed where you guys were fighting.
Yeah. And
you can see where the spider things have been kind of moving around, but where they were on kind of spindly legs, they're not really leaving much of a trail.
Yeah.
But you do notice some sort of drag. It looked like something's been dragged off towards the far end of it.
Oh yeah, so it's confirmed that they were like dragging off.
Something's been dragged. You can't see what it is.
But, something's been dragged away.
Yeah, that's what we can tell. It's just by the disturbedness of the gravel on the ground.
Kind of noticing that the sort of piercing of the last of Erebus's spear didn't really do much. I'm kind of like realizing my dagger's not really going to do much good if I do have to use it. Are there any like dwarven like maces around, or any like symbol weapons?
There's pickaxes. Yeah, there's not much else in the way of weapons in this bit though.
I might just swap out my crappy shield for one of the dwarven ones.
Okay. I mean, stat-wise, it's going to be pretty similar.
I know, just thematically. I think
thematically, you're like,
yeah,
okay,
and just like
fair enough.
Pick up one of the dwarven shields. It's probably a bit heavier and probably all metal.
As you get a bit of a better look at it, it is a bit chunkier than your one. It's got kind of like, it looks like round the rim. It's got like runes carved into it and that, but they don't look like magical runes. They're just sort of like,
just like ceremonial kind of.
Well, yeah, it could be, or it could just be like Greg's shield or something. You got no way of telling.
No worries. I'm gonna strap it on and.
Previously established, Faen barely reads anyway. Yeah. He definitely.
He's like, this could be common. I don't know.
He definitely doesn't read.
I'm
Dwarvish. Not sure. So yeah, you got that. You can hit stuff with it if you like. do like a shield bash thing.
Go around hitting everything.
Clang,
I was
clang.
going to say, just announcing us, basically. Like,
Yeah.
We are here. Clang, clang, clang.
Just hit it with your dagger, like
Kicking in the door,
handle
like,
of your
what's up,
dagger.
fuckers? Yeah.
I feel like that will be
Thanks for
very
becoming a
on brand.
fighter very quickly.
Yeah. So yeah, you've swapped your whatever.
Yeah.
You never really described what your shield was like before, but this one's a bit heavier.
Yeah, it was just like a very simple kind of like circular, like wooden buckler.
Okay.
Like shield, like very, very simple. But kind of seeing like what's happening around here, kind of like picking up the new dwarven shield, just kind of like feeling a bit more secure in himself that he's got something that's.
You're getting into the local vibe. Basically.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Fair enough.
you should stab crystals.
It doesn't
into
increase your AC at all. It's just,
No, I'm just going purely thematically
Yeah,
with like a
okay.
dwarven shield.
well, we can say you're doing all this looking around while you're taking your rest and that.
Yeah.
So with your short rest over, then, shall we say, what would you guys like to be doing?
Do we go deeper into the like actual mines, or
Looking around, it
I'm going to be
looked
checking
like
out the
that-
spiders a little bit.
Okay.
It looked like there
I
were
wanna-
drag marks leading in. It was deeper further down, wasn't it?
Further down into the sort of along into the darker section.
what kind of size work? Because obviously drag marks, I know it's kind of,
Yeah.
it could be anything, but like, was it human sized, or was it bigger?
It could be. Yeah. It could. It's. I mean, it's tough to tell without seeing the thing being dragged, but in general, it sort of looks like something possibly person-sized has been dragged.
Okay.
Possibly feet trailing. Tough to tell. You only really notice the drag marks at all because of his 27 perception. So
My eyes is wide. I see everything.
Erebus, you wanted to be checking out the spiders.
Yes.
Okay. What are you looking for specifically?
I just want to study them a little bit.
Okay. Can you make an investigation check for me?
Can I be following with my like gem light that I made of a piece of them so
Sure,
that
yeah.
Erebus can actually see?
That would be a 5.
5. Okay. They're pretty big. Seem to be made of some kind of crystal. The legs look like they're metal. You guess from experience that it kind of hurts when they hit you. About all you can tell with from this.
You are not fabulous
You
in
can
life.
see they don't appear to. They don't appear to have any
Step on
eyes
them.
or anything. The body is like a solid kind of chunk of crystal.
Can I kind of claw at it with my talon? Just a
Sure.
little bit?
Yeah. It's pretty hard.
God, that noise.
Yeah. It squeaks. It's real.
Oh.
Thanks very much. I'm now gonna have to get
I
a
hear
squeaking
that.
noise.
Oh
You claw at it and it makes this really annoying squeaking noise.
My ears
Like
looking
that.
twice
My-
as pointy from that. Ow.
no! My neck does like the.
The,
I can't quite describe it without actually doing it.
Can I
Yeah.
do
It
the
just
thing
sort
that
of goes
rabbits do
in.
where like one of the ears like twitches like
Oh yeah. I guess you're physically able to do that.
just in physical recoil
Yeah.
because I can hear that really well.
Yeah.
That wasn't satisfying. There's nothing else I want to do with this corpse.
Fair enough.
I'm
yeah.
not going to kick
It's
it
not
'cause I feel
moving
like
at all or anything.
I'll break a nail.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you don't want to damage your claws on them at all. do you?
No. They're not worth that.
So shall we carry on in that direction?
Yes.
Sure. I want to be very apprehensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not going to end well. I feel like she would have some sort of ritual that she does, which I'm still thinking of.
Okay.
Even if it's just like a tiny little thing.
Like a kind of sort
Like
of
she, not like she's casting a spell or anything,
no,
but
like a
more
sort
like
of pumping yourself up, kind of. Not pumping
kind
yourself.
of like if I if I move my hand a certain way, it's going to protect me. That kind of thinking.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
but
You're doing something. Let's
Yeah.
just say. Okay. Yeah. You successfully do that. Whether it makes you feel any better or not, I will leave up to you.
Can I kind of close my eyes for a minute and just send out like this weird kind of like pulse of like divine energy and do Eyes of the Grave?
I was gonna say I don't know, can you? But I'm sure.
Liam can do that, but no,
Yeah.
Faen can't do that.
He's like, give it your best shot.
Yeah, I'm going to use Eyes of the Grave. So I know the location of any undead within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover or protected by divination and magic.
Okay, so you close your eyes, gripping onto your holy symbol and muttering a short prayer to the Raven Queen, and you feel your senses expand outwards into the surrounding space. You don't feel the presence of any undead.
My spider senses remain.
Yeah, remain untingled.
Untingled. Okay, got it.
You do recall as well that it was either you or Erebus. It was Erebus who did detect good and evil. Or that was
your divine sense.
Divine sense. That was it, and you didn't discover any good or evil within the range of that either. So yeah.
Okay, no worries.
You have narrowed it down. These things were not undead.
I'm just staring at them, nodding.
And there aren't any more
not
around.
Undead.
If they were undead, there's not any more around.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. In which case, I'm just going to keep my new crystal light friend.
That's cool. So keeping that as your only source of light for now.
Yeah.
Okay. So walking forward up the gallery, then you walk a little ways. The gallery is pretty much looking very similar most of the way along. The dwarves are fairly kind of methodical in how they've carved this out. It's pretty much, like I say, like a giant kind of rectangle of stone. As you get to one end, though, you can see that the far end is much sort of rougher, kind of unhewn sort of stone. It's like you feel like this is the kind of rock face that they were working on. And as you approach the rock face, you very quickly become aware of a fairly large, kind of uneven opening. On closer inspection, it looks as though part of the rock face has just kind of collapsed inwards, revealing this cavity beyond. Shining your makeshift light source, you can see that the cavity extends kind of downwards and away, disappearing off into the darkness. You can't really see how far it goes. You can see the floor of the cavity. It appears to be about 20 feet below the level of the floor of the gallery that you're currently on, and the two are bridged with a short piled ramp of kind of loose rocks and gravel. The drag marks, which you noticed previously, do seem to be leading into this opening.
This seems incredibly ominous.
Yes. Yes, it does.
I'm just kind of like holding the freshly healed kind of wounds. And I was like, I think we're going to be fine.
I'm just going to kind of like head tilt
Cough
again,
up a little bit
just
of blood.
back at where the spider corpse was. And I'm thinking I'm going to wild shape into one of the spiders.
Okay. They're not really. I mean, they don't look like. I feel like I need to clarify the description. They're only like spiders because they've got 8 legs, but it's
they're
more
not
kind
creatures.
of like they don't look like animals.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. You can.
Oh, we could. If you turn into like a spider of a similar color, we could like
crystal behind me.
Attach like tie crystals to you.
I mean, I have a crystal, but I kind of need it because it's.
I have this crystal.
Don't stab me. That's the only thing.
You could turn into a spider. You can totally. I'm not stopping you using wild shape, but you can't really use wild shape to look like one of these. Is what I'm saying.
I'm going to wild shape into a giant spider.
Okay.
Of a similar colour to the spiders on the floor, or not spiders on the floor that I can.
So, are you warning the others before you do this?
No.
Still? No. Okay. So
I'm going to step back. I'm going to step back into the darkness where he's not looking, and just turn into a spider.
So Faen and Celeste, you're kind of looking at this tunnel, and you just sort of.
I would have no. Because I'm so isolated, I would have no idea that people can do this, I think.
Okay.
So I'm like, this is fucking bad magic. What the fuck?
I'm going to come back into sight by doing like one leg at a time.
I'm just kind of
like
swamp witch.
Just kind of like an octopus coming out of a box. I'm
Yeah,
going to go one leg at a time
suddenly,
into the environment.
So there's a little bit of light giving off from the crystal that Faen is holding, and you just kind of glance around, and this kind of bright blue leg just
you can almost hear a dun 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 dun.
This giant kind of I would say sort of neon blue spider, kind of like big, just kind of ambles into the light and just sort of like sits there looking at you.
I kind of
you can almost hear the words majestic coming off it.
I gently tap Celeste on the shoulder as I slowly remove. Actually, no, I can't do that because I'm holding a crystal.
I just want to put my little spider leg out and just be like, just give.
It's Erebus. Okay.
Give the crystal.
It's
Erebus.
What do you mean it's Erebus? It's a spider.
Erebus.
It's a spider.
Look how it asks.
Where did it come
Look
from?
how it asks for praise.
I look at praise. That's asking for life.
I look at Celeste and I make some kind of flapping gesture with my.
So yeah, like you look can, like, the middle two sets of legs on either side just sort of wave.
And then
like
I just raise them up really
Yeah.
slowly, like praise me, so the hands just come up at the end.
I kind of tilt my head and I'm
And I
like,
tilt it back.
There's very much she is scared shitless because she has no idea what's going on.
It gently reaches out.
I want to E.T. style with my finger and just.
I mirror.
I cast
that's
light
it.
on on Celeste's finger.
I want a spotlight on the finger.
Are you actually casting light on the finger?
No, that was.
Okay, I was going to say.
was
You
just
can do
a
whatever you want, but
Wait, you're a Asimar, aren't you? You can cast light just.
I'm an Asimar.
Yeah.
Ganassi.
No, you're a
She's
Ganassi.
Ganassi.
Oh, sorry, the Celeste thing has me thrown.
I'm sorry.
I'm a homeless man. I can't.
I'm a homeless man with a
I'm a homeless man with very
very
little sense.
loose grasp on English.
So yeah, I just want to, with one of my legs, just hold the crystal just aloft.
okay.
So it's just like above me.
Sure.
Like an antenna.
Hand it over. I'm not speaking because I can't speak, but hand it over.
You could you kind of like balance it or like mount it on your head?
I've got
Stab yourself.
Can I? I kind of just.
I was thinking.
I think with my kind of like passive insight, I can kind of gather. So I'm just kind of like, can I have it back afterwards?
I just scuttle away.
Okay.
See, even as a spider, we have a bond.
So
I want to use one of my excess legs to just hold it aloft. So
Sure.
it's like I'm like an anglerfish, basically.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
just like,
When you say you're a giant spider, how big are you? Big enough for me to get on you and
big
hold
can I
it?
be?
that's a good question. You turn into
And kind of like lay flat.
you know you want to let me be the size of a horse. You know you want to see this happening.
Because when you say
Spider bus.
giant spider, I'm thinking like
Eight-legged freaks, like,
Aragog kind of.
you know you want this. Everybody needs
yeah.
this.
Look,
I think they're
look,
kind of
I
like
want it
full
as well.
size.
I just want to check that you can do it.
I
That's
could
all.
get.
I don't think I can.
It doesn't say. Oh, it says large.
Oh
You
yeah.
can ride a large.
I can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will.
Would you hold the crystal?
I will hold the
So
crystal.
I have all my legs.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I'm on. That's why I want to get. Also, I want to hitch a ride because.
Walking's for suckers.
Yeah. Why not ride your weird bird friend who's now a spider?
Bird spider friend.
Yeah, like when's this going to happen again?
because we had a
Wait, how big
a
is
ET
the
moment.
we had an ET
hole?
moment.
It's not huge, but like
Is it big enough for
Yeah,
a
but
giant
if it's-
spider?
spiders can get into. Yeah.
You
I
have
suppose
not
the
seen me
body's a lot
compact
smaller,
my
so-
legs.
Yeah.
I told you, octopus coming out of a box,
Yeah.
leg
feel-
at a time.
Crystal spiders would have gone through anyway. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like
Fabulous.
4 to 5 foot long, so.
Yeah.
neon blue, dude.
Yeah. The hole's big enough for the spider.
I'm a
Spider-Bus.
celestial spider now.
Yeah.
For Spider-Bus to come through.
Yeah.
Spider-Bus, Spider-Bus. Into the Spider-Bus.
Oh no.
So,
I want a very distinctive clack. I just want to say that.
Okay.
I don't want it to be loud, but just like a. I just want a distinctive like. Shh. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait.
All right. Well, I will.
Even if you don't,
Like
can I
rolling
cast?
brass.
Can I cast prestidigitation
Yeah.
as the clacking sound? Very faint, so it's only like.
Sure.
We're just losing
Is
all
that a-
pretense of stealth now.
I mean, it's.
I'm choosing to believe if someone sees a giant spider, they'll at least question for a moment before attacking.
I mean, you can make the sound anyway as a spider.
Oh.
Oh,
I don't know
clack,
whether-
but you can clack with me.
I'll cast
We'll be like a
Thaumaturgy to
battalion.
make it louder if you want. I can do that.
I can't speak,
don't
so
know
I
how-
can't register my disdain or happiness
No,
for
I'm
that
not-
action.
no, I'm not-
You guys can do what you want. You can do this. This is fine. You can do it. But I will say that if you try and make things louder, you're not going to be as stealthy as you were.
That's what I mean. I want it to just faint.
I'm not going to
we could
cast
be a whole
Thaumaturgy
mo-
to make it louder. I'm not
It
going
could
to
be
do
a whole
that.
mariachi band.
I mean,
With 8 legs, yeah. I mean, you can play guitar with 2.
I was gonna say,
The other guitar with
You're
2.
right.
I can have maracas.
Yeah.
one spider marching band with some weird swamp witch on its back, like holding a crystal leg, maybe.
That crystal.
I mean, it's a hell of an image. I'll give you that.
But you didn't expect the session to go this way.
I've given up having any expectations, to be honest, because I never know which way it's going to go.
No, absolutely. As
In
it
which
should.
case, whilst these guys are doing that, can I stealth?
Yeah, you can stealth.
I'm going to use my stealthier dice, my plastic dice.
The question is, will you hold on if I go on the ceiling?
I feel like I'd get a good grasp.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
16.
We'll see how well I roll.
Okay, yeah. So I'll keep that in mind. You got a 16 on stealth. You're leading the way, though, are you?
Yes.
Spider-Bus. Okay. So
I think I'll be called the Clacker.
the clacker. All right. So the clacker leads the way.
It's my favourite
I
Spider-Man
could
villain.
just sort of very faint sparkles, like
Yes.
a trail
Yes.
after him.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm going to do that instead
Okay.
of making the noise.
Can you make like a rolling cloud of purple sparkles that go ahead of us and but like round us?
Sure. Wait, purple or blue? Like
Purple, because I'm
faint-
blue, so I
now
feel like
we're
it
asking the real question.
Well, that's what I mean, like faint blue to match you, and it can be a whole like spider outfit. But
Yeah, but I want
better.
anybody who sees us to think that they're tripping very hard on
That's
something.
what I mean. Like,
I truly hope that those crystal spider creatures are sentient enough to have
they
a
aren't
knowledge of
gonna be
aesthetics.
like, this is all for
So that they
fucking
have some-
nothing.
How dare you? It's not for nothing.
It's for us. That's the.
It's for style.
I feel like this is
I'm
very.
gonna wild shape. I'm gonna wild shape right.
This is D&D nihilism, like 100%. Like,
Like,
nothing
I've
matters.
got magic. I can just. If we're going to be going into a mysterious cave, we want to be doing it in style, with glitter clouds flying ahead of us.
Yes.
And a
then-
homeless dude wandering behind.
Hood up just like.
He's just looking very mismatched to the situation, but is still very helpful in that
Yeah.
sense. He has a shield, like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
can
yeah.
do some sort of damage.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. I'm all for it.
Hope so.
It's
I'm crouched, just peeking around like everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. So you head into the hole. the clacker leading the way.
Can I be just like Metal Gear Solid style, like
Yeah,
going
mate.
like crisscrossing?
you can totally do that with your 16 stealth.
He can be like our snail slime that goes behind.
Sure.
Kind of.
See, this is what you're reduced
Glitter.
to. Snail slime.
I'm not surprised.
The clacker leading the way with snail slime behind.
It's like nicknames. What am I?
Slick.
Slick Ted. No, we've already
No,
got
wait,
a
we've
Slick
already
Ted.
got a slick head.
I can't come up with my own nickname, guys. Please help.
Glitter cloud.
Spider Rider.
Spider Rider. Fuck yeah.
I feel like I'm getting the raw end of this deal.
You
Listen,
could
the
be
first
the
episode
shadow
set
then.
you up. Like,
Shadow slime. Slime's got to be part of it.
Yeah.
So you have to be stealth forward.
You stealth forward.
I stealth forward.
Jeez.
Sorry.
So far, you guys have made
Games.
it. You guys have made it 30 feet.
in
style.
This is why I don't write extensive notes, because we've been going for half an hour
Yeah.
and
Okay,
we haven't made it out of the room yet.
serious mode.
Yeah.
I dip the crystal web.
Okay,
Okay.
I can deal with crystal.
Crystal web. So the clacker, crystal web, and snail slime. It's, as I say, the ground on this little tunnel isn't that stable, but your 8 legs
Clacking away.
clacking away. You're able to kind of traverse it quite well. Faen / snail slime. You kind of you have a bit of a trickier time, but you kind of make your way down, kind of stepping
quite nimble.
in. Yeah, you're quite nimble. The ramp of rocks and stones drops you maybe about 20 feet down from the mining gallery level. And as you reach the bottom of the ramp, you can see that the ground is solid rock, but there's still a decent amount of loose kind of scree and gravel all along it. And using your makeshift crystal light, you are still able to occasionally make out drag marks in some of the more kind of loose stone scattered all over this tunnel. So I mean, you get the idea. You're still kind of on the right track. Now that you're down here, you can see that this passageway, it doesn't really look like it's been kind of mined out, at least not in the same sort of methodical, noticeable way that the dwarves did back on the gallery. It has more kind of like the feeling of like a narrow sort of winding cave, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So maybe after maybe about 10 minutes of walking in pretty much pitch black darkness, your way lit basically only by the crystal being held by... Oh god, I've forgotten your code name.
Crystal web.
Crystal Web. Celeste / Crystal Web is holding. You begin to become aware of kind of another source of light reflecting off some of the stone sort of up ahead, kind of further along the passageway. It is kind of intermittent. It's very much like flickering, and you can't actually see the source. It's kind of like around a bend in the passageway, you get the feeling of, but there's definitely another source of light down here, kind of further onwards down the tunnel.
So not like a fire or a torch or anything.
No, it's sort of like a kind of bluish sort of tinge to it,
right.
Similar to the bluish tinge that the spider creatures were giving off. Not quite the same though, and it's sort of, it's sort of flashing. Queen. It's not flashing sort of regularly
you just get a
either
friend
though. It's
vibe
sort of
coming off me.
just kind of flickering. You can't see the source though from where you are at the moment.
I want to utter a small squeak and just start to go onto the ceiling.
Sure.
I cling on.
Okay, make a strength check.
I'm just watching as I'm like trying to sneak up behind, just seeing the light just kind of like curve upwards.
Can I use one of an excess leg to just kind of...
That we hear about.
It's tough when you're climbing on the ceiling to do that.
Excess legs.
12.
12? Okay, yeah, you have a bit of trouble, but you just about managed to cling on.
For dear life.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why I gave you
going
warning.
white.
I squeaked.
you
Yeah.
did, yeah.
Kind of like a... before I go.
Which is quite an odd sound to hear from this kind of
you weren't expecting to hear that
large
from a spider. Yeah. Especially one that's been kind of clacking up till now.
I'm nothing if I'm not multifaceted.
Yeah. So, still moving forward, or what would you? What's the plan?
Does the light look like it's like physically moving? Like I see it flickering, but is it just like stationary
sort of,
or?
I say you can't see the source. It's sort of just kind of shining. You're getting kind of reflections up the corridor. It's because it's again not corridor. The passageway is sort of it's round a next bend, basically, whatever it is. As I say, it's not regular. It's just kind of a flickering sort of flash every once in a while.
Oh, okay. So it's less like a source. It's more of like we're seeing the outskirts of it.
Yeah, like there's
the edge of it.
definitely a light source up ahead.
Yeah.
But you're not seeing the source itself. You're just kind of noticing that there's a source of light in the corridor other than the one that Celeste is holding.
In which case, I'm gonna hug the wall like on the opposite side and like make my way around.
Okay, sure. Right.
Sort of like where it like goes round to a bend. There, I'm gonna like be on the side that it's kind of from.
So you can kind of peek around the corner, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, yeah.
Are you still behind us, or are you
I mean,
kind
I
of
can't really
underneath
be-
us?
I'm
kind of under them.
I'm gonna be
under
under
you
No,
there,
that's
yeah.
what I mean, but further back from us, sorry.
Well, that's up to you guys.
Well, I'm moving a bit slower because I'm stealthing.
Okay.
So I'm basically heading in that direction whilst you guys are up on the ceiling.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to clack less as we go.
I'll chill out on the purple sparkles as well, actually. Just
Just
in case.
let them sort of fade away. Yeah.
Are you guys trying to sneak up
Well,
as well?
I might kind of like try and sort of, not, I guess, like tap you. I don't know whether it
You just hear it.
no sounds. More as like a just wait a minute, let him kind of go round.
I just kind of, you see one of my eyes just swivel to look at you, because obviously I have many. And then I just look at him, and I just look at you again in a long stare.
I'll just nod, like, just I just nod, but also shake my head, like, I don't know which bit you're getting, but just please get some part of it.
I mean,
Don't move forward.
if you want to whisper, you can whisper.
I imagine, good hearing.
Yeah, I'll just sort of like whisper, like, just let him see what's occurring, what's going on. We'll hold back. I hate that. I hate it.
Yeah, it has. It's definitely the noise is coming from the spider.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like,
you're
it's
noticing.
not.
You're just seeing the mandibles just like shake,
I know,
and then the noise comes out.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're noticing like the noises that the spider is making. If you had to characterize them, they would be spider noises with a bird tinge to them.
That's what I mean. I feel like
Yeah.
that's what
Burlesque. If a spider ate a bird and the bird was still in there.
You're literally a bird spider.
Yeah, there is a bird eating spider.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
I'm a stealth
Moving
in
swiftly on.
Yeah. So you kind of creep up to the corner and stick your head around it. For a second or two, you're just kind of staring on into the darkness. The tunnel looking kind of pretty much just like as empty and sort of continuous as it has done for the past little while. But then, as you're looking, a flash of kind of cold blue tinged light from somewhere beyond illuminates the outline of the end of the tunnel. It looks as if, kind of abruptly, about 40 to 50 feet along from where you are at the moment, the walls of the passageway just kind of stop, with the ground that you're standing on, from what you can see, just kind of carrying on into a much larger open space. You can't make out any more details for now. That's about all you can see from where you are.
I'm gonna kind of step back from the wall and just kind of gesture to the other two, just like kind of like come down or carry on, like it's okay.
Yeah.
I just have one of my mandibles and I just look at you and I'm like, I just gesture at him and then gesture back. Like,
I honestly have no idea what you're trying to communicate to me.
he's like trying to gesture for us to go, and I'm basically like,
I'll just step out and just go, no, it's okay. There's nothing down there. It goes out into what looks like an open space.
I fully just, like, 8-legged freak just drop onto the floor.
Okay.
Like, I just...
Are you flipping?
Yes, I flip.
Please don't kill me.
Roll new character.
You're definitely flipping in midair, right?
I flip midair.
Okay, good, because otherwise that wouldn't have...
I want to let out an audible, great dragon tits.
It's a lot of syllables to get out, like, as you're falling, so Erebus...
I feel like that would make it more, like, to the point, though.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that I could get that out just sort of says, what the fuck, man?
Fine,
so-
I detach one leg at a time off the ceiling as I flip to
Oh,
give her time
I'm
to have...
100% down for flipping in midair. It's just a bit of a surprise.
Erebus in the clacker form drops from the ceiling, flipping real quickly in midair, and you just falling, you just shout, "Great dragon tits!" Which is kind of weird. Like, Faen, you weren't quite expecting this shout as well.
I'm just kind of like
I don't think any of
looking
us
with
were.
utter confusion.
Yeah.
And then we just clack ahead.
Yeah.
We don't pause for you. We just drop, flip, go.
Oh shit! I follow behind.
Okay. So the three of you creep your way up to where the passageway comes to an end, where it seems to open out. Faen, with your dark vision, you can see that, as you suspected, the ground continues outwards into the space, but it looks like it isn't actually widening out at all. It's more like it's sort of transitioning from being the floor of like a passageway into kind of like a bridge. And sort of as you squint, it even looks like it's been properly squared off, and it's sort of regular, with a width of about 3 to 4 feet. All three of you, although it's currently still pitch black in here, you immediately get the sense that you're standing on... It's like you're standing on the edge of a cliff, sort of on the edge of like a massive open space. And your suspicions are quickly confirmed, as off to your right there's a flicker and a bright flash of light, partially illuminating the chamber. Then another, off to your left, then one hundreds of feet above you. Each flash is like a burst of lightning, striking the walls of the chamber you're in, an echoing crackle of discharging energy accompanying each one. As the strikes continue, seemingly with no pattern or rhythm to them, but still, continuously, your sense of like the scale of the chamber becomes much clearer to you. This is a massive, seemingly perfect sphere of open space, hundreds upon hundreds of feet across. And your precarious sort of perch here appears to be an opening on the side almost exactly on the equator of the chamber. Your eyes, however, cannot help but be drawn to the source of all of these energy discharges. In the dead centre of the chamber, itself absolutely massive in scale, and maybe 100 feet away from you, at the end of the rock bridge, is floating a huge obsidian sphere. To hazard a guess from your vantage point, it would have to be at least several hundred feet in diameter, but it's hard to tell. You've never seen anything like this.
Can I say that at exactly the same time?
Sure.
Because I was about to say that. The floor that we're on, as we step out from step out into the sort of area, is the floor the same all the way through?
For a few feet it is, and then it appears to transition to this same sort of obsidian kind of material. It's only about 3 to 4 feet across, and it's kind of basically like a sort of straight bridge across to the sphere. with no sides on it that you can tell or anything, and you can't see from where you are because you're stood on it. What kind of support there is underneath it at all or anything. It just seems to be sort of extending outwards.
I'm out of my league here very, very much.
Same. I don't.
I just kind of turned to Celeste. You know about magic, don't you? Like magic.
I feel like I need to insert gulp. Sure. This is very much not. I have never.
There's nothing religious based that I can think of that I could recognise.
Make a religion check, I guess.
I'm kind of freaking out at the moment, both as a player and as a character, so I'm going to use my big dice to make me feel better. Ooh, 18. 18?
This doesn't seem like anything religious that you've heard of.
I got nothing.
Nothing rings a bell.
I'm just very overwhelmed at the moment.
My instinct as a giant spider is to go over and try and touch it, I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like your instinct as a bird would be to do that. Not as a spider, just you.
I'm just gonna start edging forward.
Okay. You can do that. You find, like I say, you're pretty much taking up the whole bridge as you edge forward, because it's about maybe 3-4 feet across. Giant spider, your legs are kind of splayed out on that.
I'm going to follow close behind if possible.
High fashion catwalk style for the legs.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Thank you for undercutting this, Chara. Thank you.
Celeste, you're kind of just holding on for dear life.
Again,
Is the spider big enough as a large creature for me to also go, like, hop on?
Just cling onto one of the legs, like, don't
just onto, like, the abdomen.
As a large creature, I mean, you probably could. Erebus would start feeling the weight of both of you on there, I would say.
Okay, I'm just going to follow close behind there, because it's too precarious.
Yeah.
I am a one-trick spider.
It's me, I'm the trick. And I wave the crystal leg.
That's our inspiration.
So you head across this obsidian bridge towards...
It's like a carrot for a pig. Go.
He got it on a stick and a string, just in front.
That's why we like keep going.
Probably should have looked, because when you wild shape, do you keep your own intelligence?
When you wild shape,
it's polymorph.
Yeah, it's polymorph. You lose it.
Fine, take away my fun.
I'm sorry. I hoped it was that as well.
So you head out into the space. It's as I said, it's about 100 or so feet from the kind of wall entranceway that you came in to where the sphere, to where you meet the sphere. So.
Just your big fat spider butt swaying from the
Yeah,
I'm dodging it.
I want to emphasize how much he's like clack, 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 like one leg in front of me.
He's fucking living his dream while we're here shitting ourselves because we're like, this is not going to end well. We might actually die this time.
Erebus is like, this is the perfect catwalk.
I'm like,
I like to think Erebus actually hasn't seen the giant obsidian orb with lightning shooting
I've got
out of
8
it.
eyes, and I'm just focusing on this catwalk, giving it all of.
Spiders are notoriously short-sighted, actually.
Yeah, so I can only
That's
see
true.
the catwalk.
Yeah, you
That's
can
what
see
I mean.
the catwalk.
It's just a void in front of me, as far as I'm concerned. You guys are like, oh, giant scary orb of death,
Yeah.
and I'm there like catwalk opportunity, doing my glide.
So yeah, Celeste and Faen, you were both kind of like a little bit freaked out by the sphere, and also a little bit freaked out
She's
by
just being
how
dragged towards it.
I'm like,
how little Erebus seems to
can't really back out now.
Erebus, you make it about 70 feet along this 100 feet span before suddenly you become aware of a giant sphere in front of you, and
I just stare at it for a little while.
All 8 eyes.
Kind of transfix. My eyes just getting slowly bigger.
The pair of you sort of notice that the bridge seems to be connecting to basically on the equator of this sphere. You're not like coming in at a weird angle and hitting it halfway up or anything. No, you're exactly halfway up. The bridge meets the sphere at its equator, basically, is what I'm saying.
So the bridge is touching the actual sphere, or is it like a platform?
It's as you get towards the end, you can see the bridge sort of stops a couple of feet away from it. I will say that from a distance, and because of the overall darkness of the chamber, the surface of the sphere itself initially appeared to be almost completely smooth. But now that you're so close, you can see, in fact, that the entire surface seems to be covered in an unthinkably complicated and intricately carved series of what looks like symbols and runes, their patterns sort of intertwining and swirling over every inch of the surface almost. Where the bridge is closest to the sphere, however, centered on the sphere's equator and directly facing you guys, is carved a large inverted triangle shape, probably about 10 feet on each side.
It seems like the spiders, as I look up to the back of this giant spider, because I can't go past.
You look just into this badass.
Yeah, this spider's
Neon
ass.
blue.
Neon blue spider's ass.
I don't feel like anybody is truly appreciating how fabulous this giant spider is. And
I'm riding you.
I'm
you know
behind
what?
you.
You're just saying fat spider ass. You should be saying magnificent,
Spider
Wait,
ass.
No, I'm not saying it's not magnificent. I'm just saying,
gargantuan, lightly glittered.
mate,
spider
I
posterior.
made sparkles for you, and I've been upside down. We flipped at one point. I've been carrying this goddamn fucking crystal, dangling it in front of your goddamn face.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Do you ever just sit there and listen to yourself and you're like, what the fuck? What has my life become?
Every 2 weeks. On a Thursday.
Again, I'm dissatisfied with how my gargantuan spider ass is being portrayed in this. So yes, I'm aware of how I sound.
If I can draw our attention back to the giant obsidian orb.
That you can't see.
I mean, you can see the orb
You
now.
Your ass
can
is
see
as
an
big as the
orb, but
orb.
it's not the one we should be worrying about.
You can see. I mean, you're close enough that you can see the orb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's big, isn't it? It's
the
like a
outline.
couple hundred, like it's
Oh, it's hundreds of feet in rate.
Yeah, like,
diameter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can
See
see like
it.
10 foot.
Dun, dun, dun.
Faen just gets knocked off the edge.
Spider leg just kicks out like donkey kicks.
Spider kick.
Disclaimer: I don't do that.
I mean, I was going to say that.
How did Faen die?
He got yeeted by a giant spider.
He died. Faen died through lack of respect for Erebus.
Clacker.
The clacker. Yeah, sorry, forget.
My alter ego.
I've actually got tears.
Do we recognise the symbols that are on the on the orb?
Make an Arcana check.
Nah.
Oh wow.
Use that -1 to advantage there. This is my Halloween. guys.
Does it look like a language of sorts, or is it literally just kind of symbols?
From what you can see at the moment, it looks kind of just like there's sort of runes and symbols and things, but they're covering the whole surface basically.
Can I try?
I was going to say, because I've got...
I can't communicate
That's
with
kind,
them
that's
if
kind
I
of
know what
why
it
I was
is.
like,
I'm
do
just
you know about magic? Do you recognise
Yeah.
this? I got a 14 though.
You don't recognise the symbols, only the fact that they're not religious in nature, but they could be arcane sort of magic symbols.
I
Can
just
I
look to the
also
spider and
make
look
a
to
check?
Celeste.
Sure, yeah. Do an Arcana check for me.
This is definitely your area of expertise.
Erebus, you can do one as well if you want.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Again, I can't tell them if I know what it is, but I'm just curious. If I
22.
22. Yeah, I mean, you pick out sort of individual ones that you've definitely seen before, definitely used in kind of quite advanced sort of different spells and things. I mean, I was gonna say specifically, but then at the same time, they seem to be kind of a sort of a mixture. There's no kind of like one spell in it.
Right.
It's almost like the whole thing has been covered in all sorts of different kind of magical spells and things, and they're all kind of intertwining in different ways.
Right, okay. So it's a very complex piece of equipment
Yes.
we're looking at. Shit.
Now, as I say, in front of you though, the area is sort of like this kind of triangular sort of carved shape on the surface, which it does look a little bit different to the kind of the rest of the surface that you can see, like in terms of like how the runes and things are carved into it.
Is there any way inside the orb, or is it literally just solid, flat?
I mean, if there,
apart from the...
it's not open, but it's possible. that this bit that you're facing could be an entrance way, just based on the fact that the bridge goes to it, I would say I'll give you that for free.
You know that feeling you get where you're at the edge of the abyss and you just want to jump?
I mean, you are literally on the edge of a thing over an abyss.
I'm kind of
I just
feeling
want
that
to
right
relay to them both, like, still speaking quite quietly, because I feel it would be very, if it's in...
now. The hall might be listening to us.
Well, I'm thinking more echoey, or
There is a bit of an
anything.
echo.
We don't know what's either below us, or around us, or in the orb.
Yeah. I mean, below you, it does sort of just go off into darkness.
That's what I mean.
It sort of seems like this...
We don't know what's there. We don't know what's watching
It's like the
us.
sphere is in a giant sort of sphere of emptiness, basically, that's been carved out. And all this time, it's been kind of occasionally just sort of... There's been these sort of lightning discharges from it, and that just striking the sides. None of them have been anywhere near the bridge, though. It just seems like it's just discharging occasionally.
Yeah, I want to relay to them both, like... This is... I don't know how to describe it. It's... We shouldn't be here. This is going to be bad. This is not something we want to mess with.
I drop onto my tummy and just start like slowly dragging us along rather than clacking in the wall.
Clacker!
So that I'm causing, I think, less of a disturbance.
Okay.
As terrifying as this is, there are potentially people still trapped in there.
I guess we should save them. We just...
Believe me, I'm not a hero. I'm not a hero. I don't want to die. See, the spider gets it.
The clacker.
The clacker gets it.
Thank you. Again, just dragging slowly.
Please be careful.
I mean, I think we're well past careful at this point. There's a giant obsidian spear shooting lightning all around us.
Yes, exactly.
Don't worry, we got this.
My point.
I feel like I lock eyes with the clacker.
That would be really hard because you're behind me, but okay.
You can
Backbend.
you can stick to things. It's fine.
So...
You're like, be careful. He's basically asking me to turn around on this.
On this fucking void bridge that we're on.
Yeah, there's not really enough room to turn around as a spider, I would
I've
say.
watched Event Horizon. I know what's about to happen. By Sam Neill.
I mean, if you were in Erebus form, you could turn around. I'm just saying,
I'm just
the
gonna keep
clacker is
dragging.
taking up a lot more space.
I'm just going to keep dragging.
Okay.
I feel like the spider's like a safety blanket for you at this point.
No.
That's kind of exactly
I mean-
what it is. It's a bunch of HP that you have to burn through before Erebus starts getting hurt.
Slightly. I don't know how many HP a spider has.
I'll look it up in a minute.
It's be like 3.
A giant spider has 26 hit points,
That's what we like.
so you would have to lose all of those before you
Erebus it up.
hit back into Erebus form.
Basically, when you start getting battered, I'm going to become off you. To become off you? To
As
get
you're
off
shooting
Yeah.
spells off.
Okay, well you're all, if the clacker is slowly pulling you forward, you are currently about 20 feet away from this sort of triangle kind of, like, it's visible, it's sort of like I would say it's almost like a little bit of a sort of raised area on it, and the triangle itself, the central kind of area of it, doesn't have so many of the kind of carved runes and things on it.
Faen is like white knuckle clutching his holy symbol.
You can visibly see that I'm still keeping a beat in my head as I'm going.
Erebus is the bravest of us all.
Yeah, kind of, while obviously I'm being slowly dragged into it anyway, like I have another fucking choice, I want to just close my eyes, just almost like, because she's got like animal bone kind of jewelry on, so just take some of it and like kind of fidget bead kind of things.
Like fidget spinner type. Not fully,
Not
but yeah.
like a,
Prayer bead kind of like deal.
Like
Kind
like
of,
rubbing
yeah.
a rabbit's foot. Like
Yeah.
a rabbit's foot.
yeah.
Without the animal violence.
Yeah,
Without the
like
animal
these are just
violence.
bones. She's not killed these animals. She just sort of found them. They've kind of no.
friends.
They found her. She's not found them. They found her. She was meant to find them. But yeah, so she's kind of just takes not very long. Just like a couple of seconds of like, pull your shit together. We'll be fine. It's okay. And then I'm kind of ready to go.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're facing this triangle, the three of you.
while visibly keeping a beat.
Are you kind of bopping, or are you what's
You
the...
can just see like my little spider. I know they don't have ankles, but if they did have ankles, you just see
You're
it was
tapping
like
a foot.
slight tapping as he's dragging himself forward. I feel like that his spider alter ego would be a female for some reason. Like the clacker would be a female. But just like the little spider like like little
like Mario
like, keeping
Kart
a
music.
I knew this
Yeah,
bridge looked
okay.
familiar. It's Rainbow
Here we are,
Road.
Rainbow Road. Yeah, they haven't turned the lights on yet. This is totally Rainbow Road. Okay, yeah. So you're kind of tapping a foot, keeping a beat.
I've decided this is how Erebus or the clacker deals with these situations.
I like that the clacker is a full alter ego. It's not Erebus in spider form. You're either Erebus
it's
or
a
you're
whole
the
different
clacker.
persona.
Yeah.
How close are we to the sphere?
It'll be about 20 feet.
I want to do like a little salutation with my front mandibles.
Okay.
Crying out loud.
You're trying to
Great
communicate with the
dragon
sphere.
tits, what are you doing?
Well, you don't know, the other crystal spiders could have come from this. It might like spiders.
I feel we have a very different grasp on the situation we're currently in.
It might beam us up for all you know. It might see the crystal and be like, hey, spider, crystal, yeah, go.
I want to get abducted by weird crystal aliens.
There we go, now we're on the same page. Obviously, I can't say any of this as a
I was
spider,
going to say,
so
a little funny you should say that, because when you do the
mandible
sort of mandible
salutation.
salutation, the outline of the triangle lights up with a... He's just staring at me like...
I'd
what-
like to
you're
really
looking at
point
me
out the fact
AJ,
her
what are you
face is
doing?
literally like, what the fuck are you
AJ,
saying?
what?
It looks like a combination of that and I've been waiting for this.
The thing is, I feel it's the mania kicking in, but I'm simultaneously like, holy shit, I can't wait for this, but also I am shit scared. And I feel like that would translate in character as well.
Definitely.
Like, she is anticipating a shit show, but also she's very excited for it.
My mandibles are just waving.
Yeah, so the mandibles are waving. The
I'll kind of
YMCA happening.
I'm kind of getting into the she's kind of getting me all hyped up. Like, it's very much a
yeah,
I feel we're a very good team now, because
She's
I
picking
start
up on my energy.
yeah.
I start moving the crystal, like not as much, but kind of swaying
With
it
the beat,
just
kind of,
gently,
yeah.
like
The beat that nobody hears, but I'm keeping.
I feel like it's the voices are singing.
You start waving your mandibles, the crystal slowly waving with it. Faen, I guess you're just kind of hiding behind the clacker.
I'm trying to like look over.
Okay,
or, like,
you
look
can't
around.
see it.
In
You're
the
just
shadow of the ass.
As I see you guys move, I'm just like, what's going on up there? What's going on?
So the as you do this, the kind of outline of the triangle kind of bursts into this kind of bright, kind of white, slightly blue tinged kind of light. Can I get a wisdom saving throw from all three of you, please?
Ooh. 24.
24
I'm a
for the
wise
clacker.
spider.
I have a high bonus, but I rolled a 7, so 15.
15 for Faen.
16.
16 for Celeste. Okay. So, as the outline of the triangle shape bursts into this sort of bright light, each of you feels this kind of pulse pass through you and through your mind. The light of the triangle seeming to glow kind of brighter momentarily as it does so. Celeste, a moment after this happens, you almost lose your grip on Erebus slash the clacker, as without warning you hear a voice inside your head. Genasi, unknown. Faen, at this exact same moment, you also hear a voice inside your own head. Elf, unknown. Erebus, you also feel this pulse, but it almost seems like it's kind of washing over you, and you don't hear any voices. Celeste, as you're still trying to kind of make sense of the voice and really all of this, which is happening very, very quickly, the fragment of crystal which you're holding in your hand itself glows suddenly with the same light as the triangle, adding to Fane's light spell for just a moment. And it grows momentarily very hot in your hand, but you manage to kind of keep a hold of it. In a fraction of a second, the main kind of body of the triangle shape bursts fully into this bright white, brilliant, blazing light. The vision of all three of you goes completely to white, and with a feeling of rushing air all around you, you feel yourselves being pulled rapidly inwards towards the sphere. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll be back as usual in 2 weeks' time on Thursday, November the 12th with the next chapter of this story, and we hope you'll all join us for that. In the meantime, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, all of which we're at Pretend With Dice. If you're a Discord user, we'd love to have you join our server on there, which you can get to by the link in our Twitter bio and on the contact page of our Podbean feed. And we also have our own Ko-Fi page, which you can find at ko-fi.com/pretendingwithdice. Finally, you can also email us at pretendingwithdice@outlook.com. Lastly, no matter what podcast platform you use, we always appreciate ratings and reviews, so if you've enjoyed the podcast, go ahead and leave us one of those. It all helps others to discover the podcast, and we'd all just really love to hear what you all think of the show. Alright then, so for now, that's our show. We hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.